The shatter of glass against the kitchen wall made Quinn Kendrick instinctively push his 6-year-old daughter Lily behind him, shielding her with his body as he faced the red-faced man hurling obscenities at the terrified woman cowering by the refrigerator. Quinn had only stopped by this apartment to deliver a package that had been mistakenly left at his door. He never expected to walk into the middle of a domestic dispute that was rapidly spinning out of control. "Mind your own business, delivery boy," the man snarled, noticing Quinn's presence for the first time. His expensive watch glinted under the kitchen lights as he pointed a finger at Quinn. "This is between me and my girlfriend." "Ex-girlfriend," the woman corrected, her voice quiet but firm despite her trembling hands. "I told you it's over, Victor. Please leave." Quinn assessed the situation quickly. The woman, petite with dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, had a reddening mark on her cheek. The man, clearly intoxicated and wearing what looked like $1,000 suit, was blocking the only exit from the kitchen. Quinn's daughter clutched his leg, her small fingers digging into his worn jeans. "Sir," Quinn said, keeping his voice level, "I think you should leave now." The ladies made her wishes clear. Victor laughed, a harsh sound devoid of humor. "The lady? You don't even know who she is, do you?" He took a menacing step forward. "Zara Garrison might look ordinary right now, but trust me, she's got more money than you'll see in 10 lifetimes. Now take your kid and get out before I call security on you." Quinn didn't move. He had worked as a bouncer for 3 years to put himself through community college before Lily was born. At 32, he still maintained the solid build from those days, though his faded T-shirt and work boots spoke more of his current job as a handyman than his past. "I'm not leaving until you do," Quinn stated flatly. "And if security comes, they can hear how you were threatening Miss Garrison." The woman Zara looked at Quinn with surprise, as if she couldn't believe a stranger would stand up for her. Victor's face darkened. "You have no idea who you're dealing with. I could buy and sell your pathetic life 100 times over." "Daddy," Lily whispered from behind him, "I'm scared." That was all Quinn needed to hear. "Sir, I'm giving you one chance to walk out that door. My daughter shouldn't have to witness this, and Miss Garrison shouldn't have to endure it." Victor lunged forward suddenly, grabbing Zara's arm. "You think you can just dump me? After everything I've done for your company?" Quinn moved with surprising speed for his size. In one fluid motion, he stepped between them, breaking Victor's grip on Zara's arm and pushing the man back with enough force to send him stumbling against the counter. "Don't touch her again," Quinn warned, his voice dangerously quiet. Victor straightened, adjusting his suit jacket. For a moment, Quinn thought he might attack, but instead the man's face twisted into a cruel smile. "You have no idea what you're getting into," he sneered. "Zara, this isn't over." He pointed at Quinn. "And you'll regret this." With that final threat, Victor stormed out, slamming the apartment door so hard that a framed photo fell from the wall in the hallway. The kitchen fell silent except for Lily's sniffles. Quinn knelt down to his daughter's level. "It's okay, sweetheart. The mean man is gone." Zara seemed to snap out of her frozen state. "I'm so sorry your daughter had to see that." She grabbed a paper towel, dabbing at her eyes. "And thank you. Most people wouldn't have gotten involved." Quinn shrugged, standing up with Lily now in his arms. "Most people haven't been where I've been." He didn't elaborate, but the understanding in Zara's eyes suggested she sensed there was more to his story. "I'm Quinn Kendrick. This is my daughter, Lily." He gestured to the package he'd set down during the confrontation. "Your mail got delivered to my apartment downstairs, 4B, Zara Garrison." She offered a small smile, then looked at Lily. "Hello, Lily. I'm sorry if that scary man frightened you." Lily buried her face in her father's neck but peeked out with one eye. "Is he your boyfriend?" "Lily," Quinn admonished gently, but Zara shook her head. "It's okay. No, sweetie, he's not my boyfriend anymore. He was, but he wasn't very nice, so I told him we couldn't be together." Quinn set Lily down and began picking up the larger pieces of the broken glass. "Do you have a broom I could use?" Zara nodded, moving to a small closet. You don't have to do that. It's no problem, I fix things for a living. Quinn took the broom she offered. Do you want me to check your door lock, if he has a key? He doesn't, Zara said quickly. I had the locks changed last week when I... She trailed off, gesturing vaguely at her surroundings. Quinn noticed for the first time that the apartment looked half-furnished. Boxes were stacked in the corner of the living room, visible through the kitchen doorway. You just moved in, he asked, sweeping the glass into a dustpan. Zara nodded. Sort of. I've owned this place for years, but I never lived here. It was an investment property that I rented out. When things with Victor started getting bad, I needed somewhere to go that he wouldn't expect. Quinn nodded, understanding. He'd seen domestic situations before. Smart move. Daddy, I'm hungry, Lily announced, apparently deciding that the danger had passed and more immediate concerns could now take precedence. Quinn checked his watch. Right, it's past dinner time. We should get going. He emptied the glass into the trash can. Will you be okay? Do you need to call someone? Zara hesitated. Actually, I was just about to order some food. I don't have much here yet. She glanced at Lily. Maybe you two would like to join me, as a thank you, unless you have plans, of course. Quinn was about to politely decline. He had exactly $27 to last until payday on Friday, and he couldn't afford to split a delivery bill when Lily piped up. Can we, Daddy? Please, I like her. Zara smiled at Lily, then looked at Quinn. My treat, I insist. Quinn recognized the genuine gratitude in her eyes and found himself nodding. Okay, but I'm returning the favor sometime. Maybe I can fix that wobbly cabinet door I noticed. An hour later, they were sitting on cushions around Zara's coffee table, eating pizza and breadsticks. Lily had taken an immediate liking to Zara, showing her the stuffed rabbit she carried everywhere and chattering about kindergarten. So, Zara said, when Lily went to wash her hands in the bathroom, you're a handyman, Quinn nodded, wiping his mouth with a napkin. I do maintenance for the building and a few others in the area. The hours are flexible, which helps with Lily. Is her mother in the picture? Zara asked carefully. She left when Lily was 2. Quinn's tone made it clear he didn't want to elaborate. It's just been us since then. Zara nodded, respecting his boundaries. Well, she's wonderful. You've done an amazing job with her. Pride warmed Quinn's chest. She's everything to me. I might not be able to give her much, but she knows she's loved. That's what matters most, Zara said softly. My parents had everything but time for me. Quinn studied her, curious about this woman who seemed so ordinary yet had been called wealthy by her ex. She wore simple jeans and a t-shirt, no jewelry except small earrings. Her apartment, while in a decent building, was far from luxurious. Your ex mentioned something about your company, he ventured. Zara tensed slightly. I work in tech. Victor was a client before we started dating. That's part of why ending things has been complicated. Before Quinn could respond, Lily returned, showing Zara a small cut on her finger from earlier that day. The conversation shifted, and soon it was time for them to leave. Lily had school in the morning, and Quinn started work at 7. At the door, Zara touched Quinn's arm. Thank you again. For stepping in. Most men wouldn't have faced down someone like Victor, Quinn shrugged. I don't care how expensive his watch was. No one should be treated that way. Something flickered in Zara's eyes, surprise, maybe respect. If you ever need anything, I'm in 5C. Same goes for you, Quinn replied. Any more trouble with him, you call me. I left my number on your fridge. That night, after tucking Lily in, Quinn found himself thinking about Zara. There was something about her, a strength beneath the vulnerability that had impressed him. But he pushed the thoughts away. A single dad working 3 jobs to make ends meet had no business daydreaming about a woman like her, regardless of how down-to-earth she seemed. 3 days later, Quinn was fixing a leaky sink in the building's laundry room when his phone rang. It was Mrs. Rodriguez from the 2nd floor, asking if he could pick up Lily from school. The elderly woman often watched Lily after school until Quinn's shift ended, but her arthritis was acting up. Quinn looked at his watch. He still had 5 hours on his shift, and his boss was already on his case about hours. Losing this job wasn't an option. "I'll figure something out, Mrs. Rodriguez. Don't worry." He hung up and ran a hand through his hair, mentally cycling through his limited options. 10 minutes later, he was knocking on apartment 5C. Zara opened the door, surprised to see him. She wore yoga pants and a loose sweater, her hair pulled up in a bun, a laptop balanced in one hand. "Quinn, is everything okay?" He shifted uncomfortably. "I'm sorry to bother you. I know we barely know each other, but I'm in a bind. My babysitter can't pick up Lily from school and I can't leave work or I'll lose my job. Is there any chance?" He trailed off, already regretting the imposition. "What time does she need to be picked up?" Zara asked without hesitation. Quinn blinked. 3, the school is Lincoln Elementary, about 10 blocks from here. Text me the details and a note for the school, I'll handle it. Zara smiled reassuringly. "Are you sure? Don't you have work?" Zara glanced at her laptop. "I can manage my schedule, it's no problem at all." Relief washed over Quinn. "I can't thank you enough. I'll be done by 6 and I'll come straight up to get her." "Take your time, we'll be fine." Zara's easy confidence settled his nerves. At 6:15, Quinn knocked on Zara's door, exhausted but grateful. The door swung open to reveal Lily sitting at the dining table, concentrating intently as Zara helped her with what appeared to be homework. "Daddy," Lily exclaimed. "Miss Zara knows all about fractions, and she has ice cream." "Just a small scoop," Zara clarified with a smile. After she finished her homework, Quinn looked around the apartment, noticing more furniture had appeared since their pizza dinner. "Looks like you're settling in," Zara nodded. "Slowly. Most of my things are in storage. We made spaghetti," Lily announced proudly. "And there's enough for you too, Daddy." Quinn started to decline, but Zara cut in. "Please stay. It's nothing fancy, but Lily was an excellent helper." Dinner was surprisingly comfortable. Lily dominated the conversation, telling Quinn about her day and how Zara had shown the school secretary a special card that made them let Lily go with her. A special card. Quinn raised an eyebrow at Zara. "Just my business ID," she explained. "Combined with your note, it was enough." After dinner, when Lily was occupied with a drawing at the table, Quinn helped Zara clean up. "I can't thank you enough for today," he said quietly. "You saved me." Zara waved him off. "It was my pleasure, Lily's delightful company." "Still, I owe you one, big time," he hesitated. "Can I ask what you do? For work, I mean." Zara seemed to consider her answer carefully. "I'm in software development. I founded a company several years ago." "That sounds impressive," she shrugged. "It has its moments. What about you? You mentioned multiple jobs." Quinn nodded. "Building maintenance during the day, night security at a warehouse 3 nights a week, and weekend handyman jobs when I can get them." He smiled wryly. "Not glamorous, but it keeps a roof over our heads." "And Lily's mother doesn't help financially?" Zara asked carefully. Quinn's expression tightened. "Amanda signed away her rights. She made it clear she wasn't interested in being a mother. Last I heard, she was in California." "I'm sorry," Zara said softly. "That must be incredibly difficult." Quinn shrugged. "We manage. Lily's worth every sacrifice." The sincere devotion in his voice seemed to touch Zara. She looked at him thoughtfully. "You know, if you ever need help with Lily again, you can ask me. I work from home most days." "I couldn't impose like that regularly," Quinn protested. "It's not an imposition. I enjoyed having her here." Zara's smile was genuine. "Consider it a standing offer." Over the next few weeks, Quinn found himself accepting Zara's help more than once. Mrs. Rodriguez's arthritis wasn't improving, and his boss had added an additional building to Quinn's responsibilities. Zara seemed happy to have Lily, often helping with her homework and teaching her simple coding games. Quinn insisted on repaying her kindness, fixing things around her apartment and helping her assemble furniture as it arrived. They fell into an easy friendship, sharing coffee after Lily went to bed on the nights Quinn dropped by to repair a leaky faucet or hang a picture frame. He learned that Zara had grown up in Connecticut, the daughter of investment bankers who had little time for family life. She'd been coding since she was 12, attended MIT, and struck out on her own after graduation. She carefully avoided details about her company, and Quinn didn't press. He figured she downplayed her success out of modesty. For her part, Zara seemed genuinely interested in Quinn's life, how he'd raised Lily alone, working multiple jobs while taking online courses in building management, his dreams of someday saving enough to buy a small house with a yard for Lily to play in. One Friday evening, nearly a month after they'd met, Quinn was helping Zara assemble a bookshelf when there was a sharp knock at her door. Zara froze, her expression instantly anxious. "Are you expecting someone?" Quinn asked, setting down his screwdriver. She shook her head. "No, and the building has a security buzzer downstairs." The knocking came again, more insistent. "Zara, I know you're in there. Open up." Victor's voice carried through the door. Quinn stood, positioning himself between Zara and the door. "Stay here," he said quietly. "Quinn, don't," Zara began, but he was already moving. Quinn opened the door enough to block the entrance with his body. Victor stood in the hallway, immaculately dressed as before, but with dark circles under his eyes. "You again," Victor sneered, still playing hero for her. "Did she tell you who she really is yet?" "She doesn't need to explain anything to me," Quinn replied evenly. "And you need to leave," Victor laughed bitterly. "Let me guess, she's just a regular girl in your eyes, working a normal job, living in this mediocre apartment." He shook his head. "You're being played, friend. Zara Garrison is the founder and CEO of Garrison Tech, worth about $2 billion at last valuation." Quinn kept his expression neutral, though the information stunned him. "That doesn't change anything. She asked you to leave her alone." "That request stands regardless of her bank account." "Quinn," Zara had come up behind him, "it's okay, I'll talk to him." Quinn turned to look at her. "You don't have to, I know." She touched his arm gently. "But I need to end this properly. Just give us 5 minutes." Reluctantly, Quinn stepped aside, but not before saying to Victor, "5 minutes. Then you leave one way or another." He moved to the kitchen, giving them privacy but staying close enough to intervene if needed. He could hear their hushed, intense conversation. "Throwing away everything we built together," Victor was saying. "The board is questioning your judgment." "The board approved my leave of absence," Zara replied firmly. "And we didn't build anything together, Victor. You were a client who became a boyfriend, that's all. What you're really upset about is losing the insider access you had through me. That's not fair, isn't it? You've been trading on information from our relationship for months. Did you think I didn't notice?" There was a tense silence before Victor spoke again, his voice colder. "You'll regret this. Your little bodyguard over there can't protect your company." "Is that a threat?" Zara's voice was steady. "It's business, Zara. You of all people should understand the difference." Quinn heard footsteps, then the door opening and closing. When he moved back to the living room, Zara was standing with her back to the door, her face pale but composed. "Are you okay?" he asked. Zara nodded, then met his eyes. "So now you know. About your company, does it matter?" She studied his face. "To most people it does," Quinn shrugged. "I figured you were successful. The details don't change who you are." Zara's expression softened with what looked like relief. "You're an unusual man, Quinn Kendrick. Not really, just trying to raise my daughter right and keep the lights on." He picked up his screwdriver. "Should we finish this bookshelf?" They worked in companionable silence for a while, but Quinn could sense Zara working up to saying something. Finally, she set down her Allen wrench. "I should explain about Victor and my company." Quinn looked at her. "Only if you want to." Zara took a deep breath. "Garrison Tech develops security software. We've become one of the leading providers for government agencies and financial institutions. Victor's company was one of our earliest clients, and we began dating about a year ago." She absently twisted a screwdriver in her hands. "At first, he seemed supportive of my career. But then I started noticing patterns. He'd ask specific questions about our development timeline, about new features before they were announced. I caught him going through my emails once." He claimed he was looking for a dinner reservation, but I knew better. He was using you for business information, Quinn concluded. Zara nodded. When I confronted him, he became controlling, then verbally abusive, when he grabbed me during an argument. She swallowed hard. That's when I knew I had to get out. I took a leave of absence from the company, moved here where he wouldn't expect me to be, and filed for a restraining order. Which he's clearly violating, Quinn pointed out. Yes, the hearing is next week. She looked up at him. I'm sorry I wasn't completely honest about who I am. Quinn considered her for a moment. You told me you founded a software company. That wasn't a lie. The rest the success, the money that's just details. Zara's smile was tentative. Most men I've met are either intimidated by my success or see me as a trophy to be won. It was nice being seen as just a person. Well, that's all any of us are at the end of the day. Quinn finished attaching the last shelf. Though I do feel a bit ridiculous now for thinking I was doing you a favor by fixing your cabinet doors. Zara laughed, a genuine sound that brightened her whole face. Trust me, I'm hopeless with tools. Your help has been invaluable. They finished the bookshelf together, talking more openly now that the secret was out. Quinn learned that, despite her wealth, Zara preferred simple living. The modest apartment was her choice, a place to decompress from the pressure of her position. I grew up with everything money could buy and parents who were too busy to attend a single school play, she explained. I promised myself my success wouldn't dictate my life the way theirs did. As Quinn prepared to leave, Zara hesitated at the door. There's a company event next Saturday, a fundraiser for a coding program for underprivileged kids. Would you and Lily like to come? It's at the Children's Museum and there will be activities for kids. Quinn rubbed the back of his neck. I'd need to find a sitter. I have a security shift that night. Disappointment flickered across Zara's face. Of course, I understand. But I could try to switch with someone, he added quickly. I'd like to go, we both would. Zara brightened. Really, it's nothing fancy, just a casual event. Then it's a date, Quinn said, then immediately backtracked. I mean, not a date, just I'd like it to be a date, Zara said softly, if that's okay with you. Quinn looked at her in surprise. Despite their growing friendship, he'd never allowed himself to think of Zara romantically. She was so far out of his league that the idea seemed absurd. You're sure? He asked. I'm a maintenance man with a 6-year-old daughter and 3 jobs. You're a literal CEO. Zara stepped closer. I'm sure that I feel more comfortable with you than I have with anyone in years. I'm sure that you see me for who I am, not what I own, and I'm very sure that I'd like to explore whatever this is between us. Quinn found himself smiling. Well, when you put it that way. The fundraiser was unlike anything Quinn had ever attended. The Children's Museum had been transformed with interactive technology displays alongside traditional exhibits. Lily was in heaven, bouncing from one activity to another, while Quinn and Zara followed, their hands occasionally brushing as they walked. Zara introduced Quinn to a few colleagues, never once making him feel less than her equal. He watched with admiration as she spoke passionately about the coding program to potential donors, her intelligence and vision evident in every word. Later, as Lily participated in a robotics demonstration, Quinn and Zara found a moment alone. You're amazing at what you do, he told her. It's impressive to watch, Zara smiled. Thank you, it means a lot that you're here, both of you. Lily hasn't stopped talking about Miss Zara's cool computer stuff for days. And what about her dad? Zara asked, stepping closer. What has he been thinking about? Quinn's gaze dropped to her lips. Mostly about how much he wants to kiss you, but isn't sure if that's appropriate at a Children's Museum fundraiser. Zara laughed softly. Probably not. But maybe later. Definitely later, Quinn promised. Later came after they'd taken a tired but happy Lily home after Quinn had tucked her in and returned to find Zara waiting in his small living room. Without the distractions of the event, Quinn was acutely aware of the shabbiness of his apartment compared to hers, the second-hand furniture. The water stain on the ceiling he hadn't had time to fix. But Zara didn't seem to notice any of it. She was looking at him with an intensity that made his heart race. "I believe we had plans for later," she said, moving toward him. Quinn met her halfway, his hands gently cupping her face as he kissed her. It was tentative at first, then deeper as Zara responded, her body pressing against his. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless. "I've been wanting to do that for weeks," Quinn admitted. Zara smiled. "Me too." They moved to the couch, talking in hushed voices to avoid waking Lily. Quinn explained his concerns about their different worlds, and Zara listened, then shared her own fears about relationships after Victor. "I don't care about your bank account," Quinn told her. "I care about the woman who helps my daughter with fractions and makes spaghetti with her. The woman who stands up to bullies and builds something that helps people." Zara touched his face gently. "And I care about the father who works 3 jobs to give his daughter everything she needs. The man who stepped between me and danger without hesitation, not because of who I am, but because it was the right thing to do." Their next kiss sealed a silent promise to explore this connection honestly, without pretense or expectation. The following Monday, Quinn was repairing a broken lock when his phone rang. He expected it to be his boss with another assignment, but instead it was Zara's assistant. "Mr. Kendrick, Miss Garrison asked me to call you. There's been an incident at the courthouse. She'd like you to meet her at Memorial Hospital." Quinn's heart plummeted. "Is she hurt? What happened?" "I don't have details, sir. She just asked for you." Quinn rushed to the hospital, fear knotting his stomach. He found Zara in the emergency room, sitting on an examination table while a doctor cleaned a cut on her forehead. "Zara," he crossed the room in 3 strides. "What happened? Are you okay?" She reached for his hand. "I'm fine. It looks worse than it is." The doctor confirmed this. "Just a mild concussion and a few cuts and bruises. She was lucky." After the doctor left, Zara explained. "I was leaving the courthouse after getting the restraining order approved. Victor was waiting in the parking lot." Her voice trembled slightly. "He was angry, saying I'd ruined his reputation, that his company was losing clients because of rumors I'd spread." Quinn's jaw tightened. "Did he hurt you?" "He grabbed me, we struggled, and I fell against a car." She touched the bandage on her forehead. "Security came running and he took off." "They've arrested him." Quinn sat beside her on the bed, carefully putting his arm around her shoulders. "I should have been there." "No," Zara said firmly. "This isn't your responsibility, but—" She looked up at him. "You're the first person I wanted to call." The simple admission touched him deeply. "I'm glad you did." After Zara was discharged, Quinn insisted she stay with him and Lily. "Just until we're sure Victor doesn't make bail," he explained. "My place isn't much, but it's safe." For the next 3 days, they fell into a surprisingly comfortable routine. Zara worked remotely while Lily was at school and Quinn was at work. In the evenings, they cooked dinner together, helped Lily with homework, and spent quiet hours talking after she went to bed. On the 3rd night, as they sat on Quinn's small balcony sharing a bottle of wine, Zara made an announcement. "I've been thinking about making some changes," she said. "To my life, my work." Quinn turned to her, curious. "What kind of changes?" "I founded Garrison Tech because I wanted to create something meaningful. But somewhere along the way, I got caught up in the growth, the valuations, the constant pressure to be bigger, better, more profitable." She looked out at the city lights. "I miss the actual work, the coding, the problem solving. So what are you thinking?" "I'm restructuring the company, promoting my COO to CEO and creating a new position for myself, Chief Innovation Officer. Fewer board meetings, more hands-on development." She glanced at him. "And more regular hours." Quinn nodded slowly. "Sounds like you've given this a lot of thought." "I have." She took his hand. "These past few days, seeing how you balance work and being present for Lily, it's made me realize what I've been missing. I don't want to be like my parents, so focused on success that I miss out on life." "You're nothing like them," Quinn assured her. "Not yet, but I could become that person if I'm not careful." She squeezed his hand. "Being here with you and Lily, it feels right, Quinn." in a way nothing has in a very long time. Quinn pulled her closer. For us too. Lily asked me this morning if you could live with us forever. Zara laughed softly. What did you tell her? That grown-ups need to take things slow, but privately? He kissed her gently. I like the idea more than I probably should, considering we've only been dating a week. When you know, Zara murmured against his lips. 6 months later, Quinn stood in a sunlit backyard, watching Lily race around with the puppy they'd adopted last month. The modest 3-bedroom house wasn't in the city's most prestigious neighborhood, but it had everything they needed: good schools nearby, a yard for Lily to play in, and enough space for Quinn's new home repair business. After Victor was sentenced to 18 months for assault and corporate espionage, Zara had implemented her company restructuring. Now working regular hours and taking weekends off, she'd supported Quinn's decision to leave his multiple jobs and start his own business. He'd initially resisted her offer to help financially, but they'd reached a compromise. She provided a small business loan with proper terms, which Quinn insisted on repaying. They're adorable together, Zara said, joining him on the patio with 2 glasses of lemonade. Quinn put his arm around her waist, pulling her close. Best decision we ever made. Well, second best. She smiled up at him. What was the first? Moving in together, though I think someone is going to top that soon. He nodded toward Lily, who was now walking toward them with the puppy, a serious expression on her face. Daddy, Zara, Lily began formally, Buddy and I have been talking and we think you should get married. Quinn tried to keep a straight face. Oh, really? And what makes you think that? Lily counted off on her fingers. 1, you love each other. 2, we're already a family. 3, my friend Emma says when people love each other, they get married. And 4, she held up a final finger triumphantly, I want to be a flower girl before I get too old. Zara knelt down to Lily's level. Those are excellent points. What do you think, Quinn? Quinn reached into his pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Funny you should mention that, Lily Bear. I was planning to ask Zara that very question tonight. Zara's eyes widened as Quinn got down on one knee beside her. I had a whole speech prepared, he said, about how you came into our lives when we weren't looking for anything but a neighbor to deliver a package to. About how you really saw me not as just a handyman or a struggling dad, but as someone worth knowing, worth loving. He opened the box, revealing a simple but elegant diamond ring. I was going to tell you that you've made our lives richer in ways that have nothing to do with money, but I think Lily summed it up perfectly. We're already a family. This would just make it official. Zara Garrison, will you marry me? Tears filled Zara's eyes as she nodded. Yes, 1,000 times yes. As they sealed the promise with a kiss, Lily clapped her hands excitedly. I knew it. Buddy, we're going to be a forever family. Later that night, with Lily asleep and the puppy curled at the foot of her bed, Quinn and Zara sat on their back porch, his arm around her shoulders as they looked at the stars. Did you ever imagine your life would turn out like this? Zara asked softly. Quinn considered the question. Honestly. No, after Amanda left, I figured it would just be Lily and me against the world. I never thought I'd find someone who would love both of us. And I never thought I'd find someone who would see past my company to the real me. She turned to face him. Thank you for standing up for me that day. For being the kind of man who steps in when someone needs help without thought of reward. Quinn kissed her softly. Best package delivery I ever made, Zara laughed. From a mistaken mail delivery to a proposal, not the traditional love story. Maybe not, Quinn agreed, pulling her closer. But it's ours, and I wouldn't change a single moment.